we need to discuss yesterday's AZCentral article by Robert Anglin, which exposed Shane Krauser's son as associating with Gilbert Goons. Now, many of you know that Shane Krauser was on my podcast. Many of you believe that I was endorsing Shane Krauser. And the very first thing I need to say and make clear is that I am not endorsing any of the candidates that have come on my podcast. I invited all local candidates to come on my podcast. I wanted those who are not currently in office, so people who are not incumbents, to have the ability to come talk about what they would do differently, because we are all seeing just how important local politics is. In terms of the actual video, I was sent this video weeks ago, and so probably was Shane. I did not take a position on the video because I could not tell when the video was taken, and while there is an identifiable Gilbert Goon in the video, one that I know of, there are a lot of people in the video, and I don't know that all of them are Gilbert Goons. Now, I think understand now that this video was 4th of July 2022, which may have been before all Gilbert Goon activity started. I could be wrong, but I believe Gilbert Goon activity started late 2022. So for me personally, this video, which depicts Shane Krauser's son with a group of boys engaged in awful, annoying, obnoxious, inappropriate behavior, which is not criminal, is not as important regarding who he is as a candidate as is his past fraud case. Now, his past fraud case is something that we talked about on my podcast. He gave an explanation. That explanation was inconsistent with the paperwork that exists about what happened at the time. In 2014, Shane Krauser was sued by the Corporation Commission for securities fraud. He had a license as an investment advisor. He solicited money from people. He then used that money to pay down his personal debt and buy a piece of property for himself personally, while lying to those people whose money he took, pretending that he was getting investment and returns for them. I will link here to the podcast where he explains that this was all just a misunderstanding, but I think that the paperwork is worth reading. So he was suspended from the Arizona bar for 90 days, and he signed a consent decree acknowledging that he did, in fact, engage in these behaviors. So far, 3 local candidates have come on my podcast: Shane Krauser, Natalie DiBernardo, Gina Godby here, who is a Maricopa County Attorney's candidate. I highly recommend you check out those interviews because we got deep, and I definitely disagreed with the candidates on some issues and definitely asked them hard questions. So check it out and let me know what you guys think.